Senior Night 2023 for the Grayson County Cougar baseball team as they take on the Caverna Colonels in one of the final home games of the year. And a good evening here, and welcome to a very windy Donley Field on the campus of Grayson County High School. Sam Gormley and Cougar baseball legend Chase Blaine with you here on the call this evening from Donley Field. And Chase, we're not going to waste any time because it is right now senior night. So what we're going to do is we're going to step aside and bring you senior night festivities for the class of 2023 here at Grayson County High School.
Our second senior is Camden Brothers. Camden is being escorted tonight by Stacy Hobby and Buddy Hobby and Tommy Brothers and Stephanie Brothers. Camden has been a part of the Cougar baseball program for 6 years. His future plans are to play baseball at Brescia University and become an engineer. Number 23, Camden Brothers. Our third senior is Andrew Butler. Andrew is being escorted tonight by Wendy Butler and Rodney Butler. He has been a part of the Cougar baseball program for 5 years. Andrew's future plans are to go to college at Murray State University and become a game warden. Ladies and gentlemen, number 14, Andrew Butler. Our fourth senior tonight is Hunter Felty. Hunter is being escorted tonight by Anthony Felty. Hunter has been a part of the Cougar baseball program for 1 season. Hunter's future plans are to go to ECTC for industrial maintenance. Number 16, Hunter Felty. Finally, our fifth senior is Eli Watson. Eli is being escorted by Dana and Joe Watson. He has been a part of the Cougar baseball program for 6 years, and his future plans are to go to ECTC for engineering and electrical technology. Number 29, Eli Watson. One more round of applause for our 2023 seniors, Eli Watson, Hunter Felty, Andrew Butler, Camden Brothers, and Cole Snyder.
Welcome back here to Donley Field on the campus of Grayson County High School for tonight's game between the Grayson County Cougars and the Caverna Colonels. Sam Gormley with you here on the call. We'll be joined shortly by Chase Blaine as the Cougs and the Colonels of Caverna get ready to get underway. The players you'll need to know for both of these teams. For Grayson County, we'll start with the bats. Landon Shirella leads the team with a .354 average, 20 RBIs. Camden Brothers right behind him, an average of .345 and 13 runs batted in. Jaron Van Meter with the OPS just at about 1,000 has an average of .333. Levi Rogers been hitting the ball really well as of late with an average of .302. The starting pitcher for Grayson County is going to be Landon Haycraft for this evening's game. For Caverna, Landon Slagle is their best bat, hitting .463 on the year with a home run, 4 doubles, 2 triples, and 9 runs batted in. He's also 14 for 14 on his stolen base attempts. Dominic Grimes hits .349 average on the season. Weston Dennison, he hits .354 and a double. For Grayson County, again, their starting pitcher in this game is going to be Landon Haycraft. The starting pitcher for Caverna is going to be Weston Dennison. And we'll talk more about him as the broadcast goes along. For Grayson County, they enter the game here with a record of 8-11. Caverna picked up their first win of the season over the weekend. Let's meet the starting lineups for both teams. First, for the Colonels of Caverna. Leading off at shortstop is Dominic Grimes. The 2-hole hitter will be the catcher Landon Slagle. Batting third, the starting pitcher is Weston Dennison. The cleanup hitter will be the center fielder Briley Sanderson. Batting fifth at third base is L.D. Wagoner. The 6-hole hitter will be the first baseman Connor Ray. Batting seventh, the designated hitter Zandon Korn. In the field will be Philip Brewers in right field. Batting eighth at second base is Rafe Dennison. And the 9-hole hitter will be the left fielder, Caleb Burris. Once more, that lineup for Caverna: Grimes at shortstop, Slagle at catching, Dennison the pitcher, Sanderson in center, Wagoner at third, Ray at first, Korn the designated hitter, Dennison at second, and Burris is the left fielder. Now the starting lineup for the Grayson County Cougars, coached by Jody Nutt. Leading off, the starting pitcher is Landon Haycraft. The 2-hole hitter will be the center fielder, Jaron Van Meter. Batting third and catching, Camden Brothers. The cleanup hitter will be the right fielder, Landon Shirella. Batting fifth at third base, Eli Watson. The 6-hole hitter will be the second baseman, Levi Rogers. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Andrew Butler. Batting eighth, the left fielder, Hunter Felty. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, is Chase Balnock. Gage Napier will be in the field as the first baseman. Once more, that lineup: Haycraft pitching, Van Meter center, Brothers behind the dish, Shirella in right field, Watson at third, Rogers at second base, Butler at the designated hitter, Felty in left field, Balnock at shortstop. Napier will be the first baseman. He will not bat. Grayson County and Caverna comes up next here on K105. Welcome back here to Donley Field. Grayson County and Caverna about ready to get underway here in senior night, one of the final home games of the 2023 regular season. Sam Gormley and Cougar baseball, can I say legend, Chase Blaine with you here today. And Chase, Cougars and Caverna here, Grayson County playing their best baseball at the perfect time as we get closer and closer to the end of the year, because 2 weeks from tonight here at Donley Field, It'll be the game that matters more than any other game this entire season. It'll be the district semifinals as the Cougs will try to take on anybody. Right now, it's still wide open as to who they could potentially play. We'll talk more about that as the game goes along. But Landon Haycraft going to be the starting pitcher for Grayson County against this Caverna team. 4 games, 3 starts, 1-2 record, an ERA above 8. He'll face Dominic Grimes, and the first pitch is low for ball number 1. Was it a called strike? I guess low there from the first pitch from Haycraft. Chase Landon Haycraft has been pitching a lot more as of late, and he's trying to establish himself as the number 3 arm out of the bullpen, or in your starting rotation, because as you know, if you get to the region tournament, you need 3 starting pitchers.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Landon didn't have a lot of opportunities at the beginning of the season, really focusing on his catching.
Swing and a miss there to Grimes.
But as the seasons went on, found Cam's getting some reps at catcher. He's done a really good job in his opportunities to pitch. He's kind of solidified himself as the number 3 on the team.
Fouled off, Grimes does behind the plate, and the count goes here to 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Dominic Grimes, the sophomore, hitting .349 with 3 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 RBIs. That lineup one more time for Caverna. Grimes at short, Slagle the catcher, Dennison the pitcher, Sanderson in center, Wagner the third baseman. The first baseman will be Ray, Korn, Dennison, Burris. Round out the order. Down on strikes goes Dominic Grimes, and Landon Haycraft picks up strikeout number 13 of the season. And more importantly, it's out number 1 of this game, and it'll be Landon Slagle to hit now for the for Caverna, and it'll be Slagle on the year. .463 average with a homer, 4 doubles, 2 triples, 9 RBIs. He's one of their best bats in this on this team without question, as the first pitch was a ball to Slagle. Called strike at the knees, and the count goes here to 1-1 to Landon Slagle, the senior. You also see him on the mound, not today, as he pitched over the weekend at Caverna when they picked up their first win of the season against Francis Parker. Hard ground ball, foul down the first base line, and it'll go to 1-2. Now, Chase, a team that had been on a long losing streak, was Caverna. They picked up that first win, and sometimes just getting that taste of the W is all you need to get on a roll late in the season. In Grayson County, yes, they beat Caverna earlier this year, but sometimes that win is all you need. Called strike on the outside corner. Down on strikes goes Slagle.
Yeah, and that Caverna game in the beginning of the year, it was one of our first games, and Caverna, the score didn't show how Caverna played. They played really good. Especially the first time and a half through the batting order. Our hitters, they couldn't get to Caverna's pitching, so Caverna looks like they've turned a curve here. I'll expect to see that tonight.
Batter will now be Weston Dennison. He'll be the starting pitcher. First pitch he sees is low and inside for ball 1. Dennison, .354 average, a double, 9 runs batted in. The top of this Caverna order, I mean, you look at the 1-20 record, but they can hit. He'll do a slow ground ball to the third baseman, Watson. He'll throw on to first, and 1-2-3 go the Colonels. They can't get anything across the plate. Colonels 0, and the Cougs are coming up. As this is Cougar Baseball right here on K105. Welcome back here to Grayson County High School. Sam Gormley and Chase Blaine with you as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Caverna 0, Grayson County 0. The starting pitcher for Caverna in today's game will be Weston Dennison. 8 games, 6 starts, 23 strikeouts, 14 walks, and 23 in a third innings pitched. The defensive alignment for Caverna: Burris, Sanderson, Brewers from left to right in the outfield. Around the horn, third baseman Wagner, Grimes, Dennison, Ray. Behind the dish will be Slagle. And again, Weston Dennison, the starting pitcher. How he'll look at the Grayson County offense: Landon Haycraft leads off. Van Meter, Brothers, Sharella, Watson, Rogers, Butler, Felty, Balnock. That's how the Cougars will line up against Weston Dennison, the senior starting pitcher for the Colonels. And the first pitch that Landon Haycraft sees is a cold strike at the knees. Haycraft, 298 average, a double, and 4 runs batted in for the Cougars on the season. He made this switch, Chase, about 2 weeks ago to the start of the to the leadoff position. He does a hard ground ball through the hole on the right side, and it squirts through for a leadoff base hit.
Yeah, Landon, we moved him up to the leadoff spot. He's done really well there. About everything you can ask from a leadoff hitter. Provides good speed getting on base. He tends to get on base, and that can really help kickstart an offense.
Jaron Van Meter to hit, 333 average with a homer, a double, a triple, 10 RBIs, and an OPS of .983. The most impressive portion of Jaron Van Meter, 21 walks. It's nearly 3 times the amount of the second highest player. Pitches outside, and Landon Haycraft pretty much crawls to second base, has the bag stolen easily down at second, and the Cougars working early on in the game with a runner in scoring position. We saw this, that the Cougars have been more aggressive on the base paths at times this season. And with speed at the top of the order with Haycraft and Van Meter, they will use it. Van Meter fouls it off left side, and the count will go to 1 ball and 1 strike.
One of the better things that this Cougar team does is run the bases. Don't see it a lot, but whenever we play a little small ball, bunt, stuff like that, it's really came through for us in spots where we really needed to.
1 ball, 1 strike from Weston Dennison to Jaron Van Meter, the junior for the Cougars. Delivers the pitch. Van Meter watches it outside for ball 1, and the count goes here to 2 balls and 1 strike. Cougars were in action last on Friday. They took on a Hancock County team that thumped them the last time they played them. Chase, is that the nice way of putting it?
It was rough.
18-0 was that score when they played. And now being picked off is Haycraft. They're going to throw it down to second, and Haycraft will go into third. The ball gets away from the third baseman, Wagner, but bounces off of the wall and goes right back to him. And because of it, Haycraft has to stay at third. So Haycraft was breaking for third when they tried to pick him off, and he ends up getting the bag stolen. Maybe catches a break there, does Landon Haycraft, and he almost thought about turning on the afterburners and going for home, but it took a very fortunate bounce for the Colonels of Caverna. Weston Dennison delivered to Jaron Van Meter, 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch outside for ball 3 to Van Meter, who again leads the team 21 walks. It's nearly 3 times the amount of the next highest on the team. He just finds a way to get on base. It doesn't matter how he does it. And they all count the same. The 3-1. Outside, and Van Meter, guess what? Works a walk. Something he just does. I mean, there aren't many games that he's gone this year without a walk.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the Moneyball stat on base percentages. Every one of them counts the same.
And you look, Van Meter has only had 3 extra base hits the entire season. A double, a triple, and a home run, which came against this Caverna team. Camden Brothers will hit now. He had 3 RBIs when they faced Caverna the last time, and a step off the mound by Weston Dennison to kind of reset things. With runners on the corners, nobody out, no score here in the bottom half of the first inning. As Camden Brothers, 345 average, 5 doubles, a triple, and 13 RBIs. Off and running is Van Meter. Cold strike inside, and Van Meter will have that bag stolen down at second, and there'll be runners in scoring position now with nobody out here in the bottom half of the first inning. Brothers is the commit to play at Brescia. He did that about a week and a half ago. Good to see Cougars playing at the next level. Fouls that off to the right side, and the count, he's behind in the count at no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Cam, and he has Just a great kid. You rooting for him. You would love to see him commit. Just anybody from the program that you were teammates with commit. But Cam, he really has the potential where he can do it at the next level. Great kid as well.
Dennison to deliver the 0-2 pitch. It comes. Brothers, I guess, was it fouled off? It wasn't. It bounces off of the glove, and the Cougars going to advance the base and score a run. Was it fouled? It was fouled. Was it fouled or no?
I don't think it was fouled.
No, because I saw the umpire hold both hands up after the play was over, which made me think as if he changed his mind and said it was fouled. But no, it was just a pass ball, and the runners advance, and Grayson County leads 1-0. Van Meter did advance to third as well. Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. It looked like it just popped off the glove.
It did, which made me almost think that it was fouled off a little bit because it was a check swing by Brothers on the pitch. The 1-2 to Brothers, a little ephus misses high and inside for ball 2. Chase, that's the pitch right there. That the ephus, you will see it in softball. And I would swing out of my shoes every single time at it. And you just go up there and just throw that to me, and I would miss it every time because you would look at it as there's a pitch outside and the count goes full here to Brothers. I don't know why. There's just something about it. It looks too good.
So your scouting report, that's what's highlighted. The slow ephus late break that gets you every time.
Yeah, especially if you go fastball and then hit me with the ephus, it's game over. The 3-2 to Brothers. Inside, it hit him on the helmet. And hopefully Camden's okay, and it appears that he is, but that one rattles him on the helmet, and Chase, that's why you wear the helmet.
That's right, yeah. That's why you
channeling his inner Briley Napier.
I was gonna say, Briley, lean into it, wear it. You know, bruises are temporary. On base percentage is forever. Don't ever forget it, Sam.
That's what is that what Briley tells you? And they're going to do a mound visit as Landon Shirella comes into the box. Shirella leads the team with a .354 average, 4 doubles, 3 triples, 20 RBIs. And when he faced this Caverna team last time, he went 3 for 4 with 4 runs batted in when they played back all the way back on the 16th of March. Feels like it was yesterday, but at the same time feels like it was 30 years ago. First pitch to Shirella is fouled off behind the plate.
Landon, we were talking about him before the game. Landon, just a really good pure hitter, probably one of the more talented hitters on the team. But he's sneaky, and that's a good thing. He doesn't go up there and do the flashy stuff, but he's just an all-around pure hitter, and that's great to see.
Stepping off, and neither runner fools for the step off. As the pitcher Weston Dennison down on the mound for the Colonels of Caverna, who did pick up their first win of the season on Saturday. Pops straight up in the infield. The third baseman Wagoner has it read. He's got it grabbed for the first out of the inning. Sometimes it is very, 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 did I mention very, windy today. And that was one that you could tell Wagoner was trying to read that ball. It is, and see, the craziest part is, Chase, is it's not as windy as it was about an hour and a half ago.
Right.
And it's still very windy out there. And for players in the outfield and in the infield, and those pop flies, it makes it that much more challenging. As Eli Watson steps into the box. The senior for the Cougars, he was honored earlier today on senior night. The first pitch he sees is a fly ball hit to the left side. It will go into foul territory and drop foul, as the hat went flying off of the third baseman Wagoner.
Well, with Landon's pop-up, too, with the left-hand hitter going down third baseline, the ball's going to be hooking back. Just the spin on the ball is going to bring it back. Combine that with the wind, that's a tough play, tough pop-up for a third baseman to make.
And if you're watching with us, too, is why we're doing the best we can. The wind right on cue has really picked up now here over these last minute or so. That's why our cameras are moving as much as they are. There's only so much we can do when it is, we got to be worried that there are a couple players on the field that might blow away.
Poor Landon, yeah, he's going to get swept off the mound.
Outside, the game running is Brothers. He'll advance to second. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. We got to make sure that Cole Snyder down there in the dugout is tied down.
Cole, yes, he will blow away.
In fact, speaking of that, a balloon has now come onto the field. Oh. Not sure. I guess that came from the senior night. Oh, and I tried to throw it in the dugout, and it's still alive. Levi Rogers had to go and grab it. The pitch is high to Watson, and the count is 2-1 strike. Eli Watson on the season, 3 home runs, leads the team in that category with a .276 average, 4 doubles, 18 RBIs. He's just found a way to poke that ball not only just over the fence, but he had the inside the park home run as well in the game against Warren Central earlier this season. 2-1 is ripped into left field. That's going to be a gapper for Watson, and it smacks off the bottom of the wall. That's easily going to score 2 runs. Going into second base, standing up is Watson. And the Cougars, nope, it gets away from the shortstop. Watson digging from third. He's got it. A double and an error makes it 3-0 Grayson County.
That was a great piece of hitting for Eli. Hits it right out there. Pull hitter hit it right there in the gap where there was nobody playing. The left fielder might have actually been shaded a little bit towards the line.
And if anything, I think that the wind helped the left fielder because it kind of curved towards him. And it is incredibly difficult to play outfield on a day like today. As Levi Rogers comes in, he'll do a ground ball to the second baseman, Dennison. He'll throw on to first, and good stretch by Ray down at first for the second out of the inning. But another run crosses the plate, and the Cougs lead 4-0.
And that's a fine baseball play. You score the run. A lot of people will be mad at that they grounded out to second, but advance the runner 90 feet, get the run. That's a good baseball play there from Levi.
Lineup now will go towards Andrew Butler, also playing on his senior night. And the first pitch he sees is sent off into the Grayson County dugout and almost taken off ahead of a teammate or something down on the inside of that dugout.
I think actually the pitcher's hat blew off mid-windup. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, and it is very windy here today at Donley Field. Is the flag, in fact, it's so windy, Chase, that the American flag blew away before the game. So there was no national anthem for the game because they didn't have a flag.
That's right, yeah. That just goes to show, I mean, the Dixie shed down the first baseline, it looks like it's about to blow away.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd want to be Landon Shirella or Brers for Caverna playing right field today because you might have to dodge a shed that comes blowing around. Butler, little blooper inside the infield. Dennison, the second baseman, goes back to grab it for out number 3. Cougs, though, they score 4, and through 1, they lead 4-0. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Grayson County on top of Caverna 4-0 as we head to the top of the second inning. Starting a little bit later here in this inning as Landon Haycraft, the starting pitcher for Grayson County, trotted out to the mound to start to warm up, but then he realized he had nobody to throw to because Caverna Brothers was still putting on the equipment, and so he's going to take probably a couple of extra warm-up throws to get ready. Caverna High School was combined in 1950 and formed as it was formed between Horse Cave and Cave City high schools. They came in, and when they decided they were going to create the Caverna High School, they were going to call it Caberma, Caberma, but instead went with Caverna instead. But Chase, I wanted to make sure that we gave a shout out that it combined between the Horse Cave Cavemen and the Cave City Tigers. And I kind of wish Caverna would have kept, as there's a called strike, the first pitch to Briley Sanderson, the hitter, would have kept the Caveman nickname because I like that.
I like that too. It's original. You don't ever see that.
And it fits Caverna being in the Horse Cave area. There's a swing and a miss. Actually might have gotten a tip on it to foul it into the glove. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes to the cleanup hitter, Briley Sanderson. 3 doubles and 4 runs batted in for the junior for the Colonels of Caverna. The 0-2 is a called strike. Down on strikes goes Sanderson. Landon Haycraft gets his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. L.D. Wagoner will hit now. He's got 4 hits and 3 RBIs on the season for the Colonels of Caverna, as that wind has really picked up here over these last, about 5 or 10 minutes. And there's a called strike at the knees to Wagoner. But I like the Caveman nickname, and I'm a little surprised that they, went with Colonels. I'm not really sure. I always like the history as to why specific high school names are chosen as the ball goes low to move the count to 1-1. But I guess that they decided that we were going to go with Colonels, and probably part of it is that when you combine that, Cave City was probably not wanting to be the Cavemen, because you would have to assume, as a swing and a miss there to Wagoner, that Cave City and Horse Cave were rivals back in the late 40s and early 50s.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's the thing. If I was school commissioner, I would make every team has to have a different mascot.
Ball goes low, and that's easy to say, but there's 275 high schools.
But it's
in the
like
state
you
of
have
Kentucky.
2 Cougars in the region,
yes,
that's
you've got
a little
2
too
aces
close
in the region.
Yeah,
Cloverport and Owensboro Catholic. The break even coming from Haycraft, swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Landon Haycraft out on the mound. And that's 2 down here in this top of the 2nd inning. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I think you're going to run out of nicknames, so you're going to start to get a lot of. But I do know, you go across the country, this pitch goes outside, you find a lot more creative nicknames. Like I know that there's a school in West Virginia, it's Poka High School, so P-O-K-A, which is a school, I think it's like in between Huntington and Charleston. So that's fouled off to move the count to 1-1. You know what their nickname is?
What?
The Dots.
See, that's
So they're the
perfect.
Polka Dots.
And they're probably the only one in the country.
Yes, I believe they are the only Dots. As the 1-1. Swing and a miss outside. But, you have some creative names in Kentucky as well. You've got Bethlehem, the Banshees.
Bracken County.
Polar Bears.
Polar Bears.
Yep. You got a lot of really creative names throughout. Outside pitch goes low, and the count goes even here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Estill County, the Engineers.
That's a good one.
And then you've even got some just for the girls program, like Ashland. Their boys are the Tomcats, and their girls are the Kittens. The break even inside just misses from Haycraft to Connor Ray. Ray is the freshman hitting 148. Speed on the base paths, though, if he gets on there. 7 of 7 on stolen base attempts. Full count pitch coming. Caverna looking for their first base runner of the game. Haycraft delivers the full count pitch. It is a slow ground ball to Watson at 3rd. He takes, he fires, low throw, Napier picks it, and that is the inning. We head to the bottom of 2, 4-0, Grayson County leads. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Grayson County leads Caverna 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Chase Blaine is that guy, and I'm Sam Gormley with you here on the call from a very windy Donley Field here on the first day of May, which is kind of wild to say. As it feels like April kind of lasted a longer time. As in for another inning of work is Weston Dennison. He'll face Hunter Felty. First pitch to Felty is outside for ball number one. Felty, 233 average, 3 RBIs. But when he gets on base, he finds a way to cross the plate. 16 runs scored, one of the highest on the team in that total. So here comes the 1-0 from Dennison. Inside, and Felty's going to wear that one in between the numbers. And that's the first base runner of the inning here for Grayson County. Here you see former Cougar baseball head coach Danny Clark chimes in on our conversation from the previous half inning, talking about some creative high school mascot names. Himself down in the South Carolina area. He says in Charleston, South Carolina, there is the Philip Simmons Iron Horses, which I like that one.
I like that.
Like that creative high school names. It's better than just Cougars and Colonels. We've got plenty of them.
It's good to see Coach Clark checking in. I know he's been busy in his quote-unquote retirement.
Chase Bonnock to hit for Grayson. Pitch high and inside. Felty headfirst slide into second. He's got it. And Cougars have a runner in scoring position now with nobody out here in this bottom of the second inning. They have the 4-0 lead. Bonnock on the year, 3 hits, 5 RBIs. He's not had a lot of plate appearances, but he's come away with big hits, including a massive one last week against Edmonson County. He had 3 RBIs in that game, a career high. Outside, the ball bounces off of the glove of the catcher Slagle, and advancing to third base will be Felty.
You know, Chase really taking over the shortstop position. He's played it really well. Started the season, had an opportunity about halfway through during spring break, and he really jumped on it. He's had some really solid at-bats. In a couple of years, he's going to be a really good player here at Grayson County.
Playing that shortstop position, it's one of the toughest positions to play, probably next to catcher on a baseball field. And he turns on one, hits it to right field. It bounces in front of the right fielder, Brers. And Grayson County leads 5-0. Chase Bonnock picks up RBI number 6 on the year. And the Cougs lead 5-0.
Another good piece of hitting by Chase. Almost acting as the second leadoff man down there in the 9-hole. Provides really good speed. And now with Landon Haycraft coming up, that'll be good opportunity to see if he can advance.
Haycraft had a slow grounder through the right side to reach base in the last inning. He comes in for at-bat number 2, trying to help himself out as he is the starting pitcher in the game. A large lead down at first for Bonnock. Ground ball to the second baseman, Dennison. He's going to turn to. He had no shot, and he throws it into left field. Advancing is Bonnock. He'll go into third standing up. He's going to stay there. Backside advancing to second is Landon Haycraft, and the Cougs are working here with runners on second and third and nobody out in the bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, that was a tough play. Didn't look like, on the fielder's choice, didn't look like he had a real probably the smartest play would have been to go to first base. But the thing that, as a pitcher, you have to you can't get emotional on the mound. You just have to put your head down, know that you still have to trust your defense to make plays.
Jaron Van Meter to hit for Grayson. He worked a walk in his last plate appearance. He's going to try and give the Cougars a bigger lead than their 5-0 advantage that they have right now. And that one is blown past him for a swinging strike. And the count is 0-1 against Weston Dennison, the starting pitcher for the Colonels of Caverna. As you mentioned, Chase, it'll be interesting to see how he bounces back after the error in the field. The 0-1 is low, and the count is 1-1. Van Meter also really good football player for the Grayson County Cougar football team. And he's one of those guys that Brian Jones, the head coach for the football team, literally put him in so many different situations. And he pretty much played every position on the field. He was running back. He was slot receiver. They lined him up outside receiver. And they put him in at quarterback after Hunter Felty, the Cougar starting quarterback, got hurt in the playoff game. And I know asking Brian Jones after that game, how many snaps has Jaron Van Meter taken in practice or anything? And he said none. Just kind of shows the kind of kid that Jaron Van Meter is, and he wears one on his shoulder, and the bases are loaded for Camden Brothers with nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. But Van Meter is just one of those players that he'll do whatever it takes to win the game. And he'd also be one of those that I think if Brian Jones would have come to him in that game and it would have been the left tackle that would have gotten hurt and said, hey, we need you to play left tackle, he'd have said, okay.
Absolutely, and he works too. I know, speaking from football and baseball, he is here a lot. He takes a lot of pride in his work, getting better at his game. He's just a really hard worker, and he's just a raw athlete.
Bases loaded for Camden Brothers with nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. Grayson County leads 5-0 against the Colonels of Caverna. The mound visit has been completed from the Colonel coaching staff. And Weston Dennison delivers the first pitch to Brothers, and it's a fly ball right side out of play. And that sounded like it might have hit the bleachers behind us.
Bleachers.
And hopefully there's nobody sitting there, or they might have been needing it, because that you could hear that from us. Probably didn't pick up on the microphone, but
looks like Mr. McGee had a play on that ball, but just decided to let it go. Probably smart.
Smart play. 0-1 to Brothers is a cold strike on the inside corner. Brothers, in his last plate appearance, was hitting the helmet. He's falling behind at no balls and 2 strikes. The Brescia commit. Brothers high, and the count goes here to 1-2. This Caverna team has struggled this year. There's no other way to put it, but they are. You can clearly see, Chase. You saw them. They're getting better, and that's the most. That's what you got to ask for. Is Brothers. It's a fly ball to straightaway center field. Sanderson has it red out there, and he's going to throw it in a little late, cut off by the pitcher Dennison, and that will play to run. And Grayson County leads 6-0.
Yeah, with the infield playing in, the outfield was shaded in, probably a step or two in as well. Had a perfect play on that ball straight away. Caught it, and then pump fake, didn't throw it right as soon as he caught it. And if he threw it, he might have had a chance to get the runner at third.
Because he had a nice arm. And you heard the Caverna coaching staff, we heard him picking up through the mic that he said throw it. And that's just showing some of the inexperience out there for the Caverna outfield. Pickoff move, stepping off, no throw. Trying to get Haycraft. Landon Shirella in to hit. He popped off to the left side in his last plate appearance, as he has got a hole on the left side of the infield that he could drive a train through if he wanted to. We go opposite field. Pitch low, both runners off. Dropped by the catcher, Slagle. And both runners advance into scoring position, and Grayson County has it working here with a 6-0 lead in the bottom of the second.
Caverna, you're talking about the Caverna coaching staff. Their coach, he's very animated, very into it. You can tell he cares a lot about the program. Always rooting for his guys, and that's what you like to see in a coach.
Barrett Wright, the head coach for this Caverna team. Pitch goes high, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes from Weston Dennison to Landon Shirella. Shirella, that pop-up to the third baseman Wagner in his last plate appearance, but since it's so windy, it made it very, very challenging to try and run that play down. Called strike at the knees there to Shirella. As it's 2 balls and 1 strike here with 1 down in the bottom of the second, Grayson leads 6-0 against the purple-clad Colonels of Caverna. The all-purple jerseys and the purple hats. The 2-1, swing and a miss. Shirella will make the count go even here, 2-2. Chase, I know you're not necessarily a fan of the solid color unless it's gray or white. I like it. The all-purple.
Yeah, they remind me, I don't know.
You're a hater. That's what I hear. The break even. Popped off again to the left side. That one the wind will take and head over to the there's a group of boys that are playing a game of, well, it looked like it's wiffle ball. Now it looks like a tackle football game has broken out over to the left side. Or at least they're brawling over in the little field.
That's an
over to the left.
HBP gone wrong right there.
Something's happening. Here comes the break even to Shirella. Fly ball hit back into center field. Sanderson's going to have to turn around, and he's going to look up, and it's off the bottom of the wall. 2 runs are going to easily score. Shirella, he will dig into second. He's digging for third. Lowers it in, dives in ahead of the tag, and Landon Shirella has a 2-run double or triple, and Grayson County leads 8-0.
That was a great job by Shirella. He's had a couple triples on the year. He's leading the team.
4th triple of the season.
Going into the season, no offense, Jason, I didn't think that he would be the guy that would be leading the team in triples.
Listen, he is a speed demon out there on the base paths. And honestly, he was probably thinking 4 out of the box.
Yeah, you have to be to get a triple.
Eli Watson to hit for Grayson. Eli Watson earlier this season had a inside the bark home run against Warren Central, who I think was another team, if my memory's right, that had more of the softball style. I think they were in all Navy, if my memory's right.
I think they were wearing the USA. They had
USA,
the flag,
that's right.
yeah.
There was somebody else that we've had. Maybe it was Owensboro that had the all jerseys. Watson fouls that into the Caverna bullpen, and if we had some exit velo on that, that probably would have been one of the highest of the season.
You need
He
stat
smashed
cast, K105 cast.
That was your job to figure that out this season, and clearly,
I'm just now figuring out game changers, Sam.
well, maybe one day we'll be able to get that that advanced. High and inside ball 2. We could maybe put a radar gun on the umpire out there at second base today.
Yeah.
If it was Norman Chafin's out there, we definitely would. Wind picks up again. 2-1 pitch coming to Eli Watson. It's ripped underneath of the glove of the third baseman Wagoner, bobbled by the left fielder Burris, but scoring is Sharella, and Eli Watson has another RBI on the hard ground ball into left field. That was one of those examples of if you hit it hard enough, good things will happen.
Absolutely.
And it was smashed there to the left side. It's a tough play for Wagoner to stick the glove down. And another example of that's why it's called the hot corner. Levi Rogers comes in to hit now for Grayson.
Yeah, you have to be on your toes at third. Elon pull hitter, he pulled it right down the line. Hit it really hard. Scott Rowland couldn't have made that play at third. That was a hard shot right there.
9-0, Grayson County has the lead against Caverna. The runner Watson is down at first. In the batter's box is Rogers, the lefty. Off and running, ground ball, foul, smacks off the Grayson County dugout. And I think Cole Snyder, the manager, might have had his hand over the wall there because he kind of had to back out of the way to make sure he didn't maybe need to make a trip to good old Owensboro Health later on a broken finger.
That'd be bad senior night.
Yeah, I don't think his parents would appreciate having to deal with that. Checking the runner at first is Dennison. One down here in the bottom of the second inning, 9-0. Grayson County has the lead. Pitch to Rogers is popped off left side, and it'll go out of play.
One of the things I've noticed here of Caverna is they don't seem to have a lot of rhythm with their pitching. And that's important as a pitcher. You have to get in a good, steady pace, and I just haven't seen a lot of that. A lot of step-offs, a lot of bluffs.
Some of that, too, is just inexperience out there on the mound. Is feeling the game is just as important. Pitch inside over the head of Levi Rogers, and the count here is 1 ball and 2 strikes to the young lefty on this Grayson County team, one of the future faces of this Cougar baseball program. He has really come on over these last couple of weeks, hitting the ball well, had a home run against Whitesville Trinity about 2 weeks ago as well. Pitch goes low right through the wickets of the catcher Slagle, and advancing on the pass ball will be Watson down to second.
I know one of the things they're doing across the state is whenever we played Franklin County, they actually in their region have a pitch clock. Only region in the state with it.
Not sure how much it's needed in a high school game. I've not ever noticed as Rogers does a hard ground ball to the first baseman, Ray. Nice snag. He'll step on first for out number 2 in the inning. It's a good play down there by the first baseman, the freshman Connor Ray, as Rogers hit that ball pretty hard, and he's able to stick the glove down and step on first. Watson does advance to third.
It's kind of like Eli's play, except from the opposite side. First baseman's playing back a little bit, had a little better time to judge the ball, and made the out.
Andrew Butler to hit. He popped out to the second baseman in his last plate appearance. Grayson County leads 9-0. He'll pop that straight up in the infield. Dennison, the pitcher, is called off by Slagle, the catcher, and that is the inning. The Cougs, though, score 5, and we're through 2 full. It's 9-0 Grayson. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Grayson County on top of Caverna 9-0 as we head to the third inning of play. It'll be 7, 8, 9 in the order for the Colonels. Zandon Korn leads off. 143 average, 3 doubles, 2 RBIs. Sam Gormley and Chase Blaine with you. Landon Haycraft, the pitcher in for Grayson. Haycraft 25 pitches through 2 innings, 68% for strikes. So he's doing a good job pounding the zone against the Colonels team. And the first pitch is a called strike. Caverna, as we touched on in the last inning, has the history dating back to 1950 when they combined between Horse Cave and Cave City, but they have a deep baseball history, including 3 players, as there's a swing and a miss, with MLB connections. And it's all in one family, the Doyle brothers. And they're a really, really interesting family between all 3 of them. As here comes the 0-2 pitch to Korn. Called strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night from Haycraft to Dennison. So we'll talk about these brothers here. Chase, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
So we've got Denny. We'll start with Denny. Denny Doyle. He appeared in 944 career games between 1970 and 77. He played for the Philadelphia Phillies, the Boston Red Sox, and the California Angels. There's a called strike to Rafe Dennison, pitched the knees. One of the things that he is most known for, at least, in fact, it's interesting because I've read this multiple places, and one of the things that he is known for is he was a member of the 1975 Boston Red Sox, who were, of course, played the Cincinnati Reds in what is known as one of the greatest World Series of all time. Went to 7 games, Reds ended up winning. But in Game 6, which has been rated as one of the best baseball games ever played, I know that everyone that has ever watched that game has said that. It is known for the Carlton Fisk home run at the end. Well, there's a pitch outside, and the count here goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. In that game, the bases were loaded with nobody out to the bottom of the 9th inning. It was 6-6, and the Red Sox were at the plate, and Denny Doyle was on third base. Called strike at the knees. Dennison goes down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Landon Haycraft, and it'll now be Caleb Burris to hit. It was a pop fly out to George Foster for the Cincinnati Reds, and Doyle broke for home and was thrown out. And then the Reds got a ground out to get out of the inning. And a lot of people say that the third base coach at the time was Don Zimmer, and he was telling him not to go, not to go, not to go. But because he went, that set up to allow for Carlton Fisk to have the home run in the bottom of that inning, which is known as one of the most famous home runs in World Series history. Okay. Kind of an interesting connection there, and he is from Caverna High School. Yeah, the Carlton Fisk, as he was trying to get that ball to stay fair as it was going over the Green Monster. Now, of course, myself being the Cincinnati native, we have to say what happened in Game 7 when the Cincinnati Reds ended up winning. So that's Denny, and Denny tragically passed away back in December in his late 70s. But an interesting story there connected to there. His brother, Brian, was the 4th pick in the 1972 draft, or the 4th round pick out of the 1972 draft by the Rangers for Caverna. He was traded to the Yankees for Sandy Alomar Sr., where he won the 1978 World Series with the Yankees, as that's fouled off to make the count go to 2-2. And in the 1978 World Series, he finished 2nd in World Series MVP voting, where he hit .438 with 2 RBIs in the 1978 World Series. So Brian has the ring. And then there's one more. Brian's twin brother, Blake, as the pitch goes low to make the count go full here to Caleb Burris, was the hitting coach for the Rockies from 2013 to 2016. He also was a 4th round pick in the 1972 draft by the Baltimore Orioles. Okay. So Caverna, the Doyle family, is who runs the baseball program. And there's a walk. The first base runner of the game, Caleb Burris, watches the pitch go low. And a runner on first base back to the top of the order for Dominic Grimes. So that's kind of the story of the Doyle brothers. Denny, appeared almost 1,000 career games, was about a .250 career hitter, played in a World Series. His brother Brian won the World Series as there's a pitch hitting Haycraft in the back as it went outside, and Brothers went to throw down to second and ends up tagging his pitcher in the back, and Jody Nutt, the head coach, is going to have to go out and check on Haycraft. And I think Haycraft is laughing out of the mound right now, so I think he's okay. But stealing second is Burris on the play. They're going to check on him, but I think he's live. Okay, I think he's okay. Jody Nutt slaps him on the backside, and I think Camden Brothers might need to owe Landon Haycraft a cheeseburger later, Chase.
Yeah, I mean, Jody probably went out there and said, Landon, what's that on your left hand? A glove. Okay, use it. That's usually Jody's go-to.
Camden was trying to throw out the runner in second.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what he probably told Landon right there.
Get out of the way is probably what he said. Yeah. And Camden probably saying, my goodness, man, I didn't try to take you out with a back injury. This 1-0 pitch is low, and the count goes here to 2 balls and no strikes to Landon Haycraft.
But no, going back to that, I think that's interesting seeing a lot of these little schools usually always have 1 or 2 people go on, seeing the legacy that those people carry. That's great for Caverna. I had no clue about that coming in, I'll be honest.
I told you, I think, before the game that there was going to be a Carlton Fisk mention here on the game. And there you go. There's your reason why. And I'm sure Briley Napier is very happy that I mentioned the 1978 World Series. As there's a ground ball to Rogers at second. He'll throw on to Napier and get the runner by half a step. And that is the inning. Caverna gets 1 runner, and we head to the bottom of the third. Cougs lead 9-0. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Grayson County High School is the host here of this game as Grayson County leads Caverna 9-0 in the bottom of the third inning. Sam Wormley and Chase Blaine with you here on a very windy evening in good old Litch, Vegas, Kentucky. That's what we call it, right, Chase?
Yeah.
Something like that.
God's country.
Grayson County leads 9-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. Sam and Chase with you, and enjoyed learning more about the Doyle brothers. Of course, the twin Doyle brothers were on the 1972 state championship team that Caverna won back then. They have 2 state championships. The other one was back in 1961. And the first pitch is a line drive base hit up the middle for Hunter Felty. And it goes into the gap to the left side. Hard turnaround first for Felty, but the center fielder Sanderson is able to get over there in a hurry to make sure they can hold that from Felty, who has positive speed to only 1 base. Chase Ballnock to hit. He hit an RBI in his last plate appearance on a little bloop single into right field. As Weston Dennison is in for this third inning of work, he's sitting at 54 pitches. He steps off the mound and watches Felty scurry on back to first. And looking down, we got a new first base coach as well out there for Grayson County. Cole Snyder, the manager, is coaching first. And Jody Nutt is down at third base. And the first pitch to Ballnock is low for strike 1.
Good for Cole. Getting him involved on senior night. That's good.
I like that. He's the manager. They're putting it out there. He's wearing number 30 today. It's first time he's put on the baseball jersey. Usually he goes with like the managers as Ballnock pops it straight up into the infield. Felty was running, going back to get it as Dennison, but I think it ended up being caught. No, Dennison did pull it as the center fielder Sanderson came in. Actually, that's a new center fielder into the game, as Slagle has now moved to center field. And we have a new catcher. So there was a change there without letting us know, which is not uncommon. So we'll try to figure out who the new catcher is, as the pop fly does hold the runner out at first. As we'll try to see if we can't figure out who the new catcher is for the Colonels of Caverna, as Slagle has moved to center. Pickoff move, Felty dives in ahead of the tag.
Good job by Cole letting the runner know to get back once he saw the foot come up.
He immediately looks back to the dugout to probably some clamoring from his teammates in that dugout. You can only imagine what was being said to him. As the batter is Landon Haycraft, he's 1 for 2 in the game, trying to help himself out. Off and running is Felty. A little sawed-off hit to the second baseman Dennison. He catches, he throws on to first. High throw, high throw. He's able to recover, step on first, and that is the inning. Bad luck, double play for Grayson, and we're through 3 full. It's 9-0. Cougars lead Caverna. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Landon Haycraft in for another inning of work for Grayson County as it's top of the 4th inning. Cougs lead 9-0 against Caverna. Landon Slagle will lead off for the Colonels of Caverna, as Slagle was the catcher and has now shifted into the center field position. We're still trying to figure out who the new catcher in the game is for the Colonels. And the first pitch from Haycraft is low for ball number 1. As Grayson County scored 4 runs in the first, 5 runs in the second. Caverna's only had 1 base run. It was the walk by Haycraft in the last inning. Haycraft's fallen behind in the count here. 2 balls and no strikes to the senior Slagle, who's hitting .463 on the year. It is their best bat in the lineup. Home run, 4 doubles, 2 triples, 9 runs batted in. Not afraid to, he's talented and he's got a good beard, good head of hair. He's a menace out there in the plate.
He fits the part.
Called strike on the inside corner.
Landon, he's being really efficient pitching. 46 pitches here through the fourth inning. That's really good, keeping his pitch count down, going right after hitters.
Break even. He throws to the backstop, and the count will go even here, or go full here at 3 balls and 2 strikes. He kind of looks like Justin Turner a little bit out there. Maybe not
Justin
quite
Turner,
the full.
the beard,
I mean,
Pop-Tart.
beard,
I like
longer
that.
hair. I like it. It's good looking. If he can hit like Justin Turner, then he's going to have himself a good career. And he works a leadoff walk at the pitch low. Slagle does have speed on the base pass, 14 of 14 on stolen base attempts on the season. Weston Dennison, the starting pitcher, will come in to hit.
If he keeps at it, he's going to be Brandon Marsh in a couple years. He's got the good trajectory going.
As it'll be Weston Dennison, the starting pitcher. He is 0 for 1, grounded out to the third baseman Watson in his first plate appearance, and a pickoff move in there safe. Is Slagle down at first base. Haycraft, this is a good opportunity for him to try and build some more confidence because, especially, Jason, we were talking about the region tournament, about needing a third starter, but you never know if he could come out of the bullpen in a game in 2 weeks in the district tournament. You got to find ways to win in any possible way, as there's a called strike at the knees to Dennison. I mean, you think back to the game in the district semifinals last year that Grayson County lost to Edmondson County. Gage Napier got the start, and it wasn't his night. And listen, every pitcher has those nights. It doesn't matter. Max Scherzer does. Every pitcher has a game where it's just not working, and that night, it was not Gage's night. And Landon Shirella had to come in, probably not thinking he was going to pitch in the first inning of that game. In his eyes, he was probably hoping that he wasn't going to pitch at all because that would mean that Gage Napier was throwing the ball really well. But you never know what could happen in a win-or-go-home game because Jody Nutt also at that point had to be careful because he didn't want to throw his second pitcher. There's the pitch goes low because you don't know if you will come back and get to game 2.
Right, yeah, and you have to play to win that game 1. Landon, he's done a great job with his opportunities here later in the season. Kind of been penciled into that number 3 slot, but as you say, come district time, he'll probably be one of our first relievers we go to.
Off and running, hit right back up the middle. Bonnock tags second, and he didn't need to tag second as it's a fielder's choice as he tags the runner Slagle out at second, and advancing is Dennison. Would have been one. He just needs to tap on the bag and throw on to first and try and get the double play. So it goes right back up the middle, and it'll go a fielder's choice 6 unassisted. Slagle out, and it'll now be Briley Sanderson to hit. And he'll do a swing and a miss. We'll try to figure out, Sanderson was the center fielder. He no longer is. We'll try to figure out as to who as we're going to now have a courtesy runner, it appears, for the pitcher. And that courtesy runner is going to be, looks like Tavian Alexander, the freshman. Pitch low. And a backside pickoff move in there safely is Alexander.
That was a good job by Cam to recognize the back pick. Didn't quite throw it as soon as he saw the runner. It was a little bit of hesitation. Probably had a better shot if he threw it right away. But still a good job and a good heads-up play there by Gage to get back to the bag and catch the throw.
1 ball, 1 strike. Another pickoff move. Alexander is out. Picked off. Landon Haycraft gets him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You saw he had a really big lead to pitch before. Why not throw over there a time or two, see if you can get him? And that's exactly what Landon did right there.
As it was kind of an awkward slide back into, as he was almost like army crawling trying to get back. The 1-1 inside almost hits Sanderson. And the count goes here to 2 balls and 1 strike. Sliding is one of those things that it's a lot harder than it looks, especially to do it well. I mean, the best sliders in the game fouled off and caught. How about the play down there by Jody Nutt in the dugout? He snags that, looks at the dugout, and says, yep, that's what I'm about.
He still got it. He could still play today at a high level if he wanted to.
He could probably play for the Twins. Here comes the break even. Called strike 3. Down on strikes goes Sanderson. We head to the bottom of 4. Cougs lead 9-0. It's Cougar Baseball on K1. to Don Leafield. Sam Gormley and Chase Blaine with you here. To bottom of the fourth inning we head. Grayson County leads 9-0. Jaron Van Meter leads off for the Cougars and saws one off right back to the pitcher. Dennison throws on, low throw, picked by Sanderson down at first. And that's the first out. 1 pitch, 1 out for Caverna here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And the lineup now goes towards the 3-hole hitter for Grayson County, Mr. Camden Brothers. Camden has sacrificed fly and been hit by a pitch. We touched on some of the changes out in the field for Caverna. Sanderson moved from center field to first base, and the first baseman, Ray, is now behind the plate catching. The catcher, Slagle, is now in center field. Those are the changes for Caverna. Weston Dennison remains on the mound. And a little bloop fly to the second baseman, Dennison, and he'll catch it. 2 pitches, 2 outs. I'll tell you, Rafe Dennison out at second has had about 4 little bloopers right to him in this game, Chase. It's kind of wild.
Yeah,
He's been busy.
Yeah, the Cougar offense here falling a little flat on their face here in this inning.
Landon Shirella, ground ball, base hit into right field. So it's not going to be 3 pitches, 3 outs for Grayson. But it is 3 pitches. As the ball gets away on the infield, Shirella's digging for second. He's in there standing. The error allows for the Shirella's smart base runner. He saw it happening as he took a hard turnaround first and was kind of stuttering, and it ends up getting all the way through.
His drills he's been working on with his brother Hunter have really paid off there.
It's like Lightning McQueen out there. Speed, he is speed. It's like Usain Bolt, Eli Watson out there and to hit now for Grayson. And stepping off the mound is Dennison. And just watches Shirella scurry on back to second. Watson, a fly ball hit back into left field. Going back is Burris. And he has it read. And no, he drops it. And it bounces off of the wall. Going in to score is Shirella. Watson will go into second base standing up. And Grayson County leads 10-0.
You know, going back to Shirella, he's just a really smart baseball player. He's been around the game a long time. Keeps up with baseball. Not a lot of guys do that anymore, and that helps. You just learn your P's and Q's there of the game.
Levi Rogers to hit for Grayson. He's 0 for 2 in the game. He's grounded out to second and grounded out to first here today. Going up against Weston Dennison, Grayson County leads 10-0.
And that 10th run was a huge run as well.
That does put us in a run rule situation. Line drive over top of the glove of the second baseman. Dennison goes into the right center field gap. Eli Watson runs in, and he will score on the base hit by Levi Rogers to make it 11-0. Hit them where they're not. And Dennison couldn't catch up to that one.
Andrew Butler up now. Senior night looking to get a hit.
He's 0 for 2. He's popped out twice in the game to second and in foul territory.
I believe he's the last one.
Pitch goes low for ball number 1. Last one is to what?
As to Senior hasn't got a hit yet.
Yeah, the only 2 Camden Brothers has not had a hit in the game either. Jaron Van Meter, Camden Brothers, and Andrew Butler are the only Cougars without hits. Nice stop behind the dish by Ray. Make sure that one did go to the backstop.
Andrew, he's great DH, but he's also been playing a lot of small ball, really good bunter. Third baseman's playing back a little bit. Why not lay one down and see what you can't do?
Good speed, too, stepping off.
Andrew, he has really fit his role. He knows he's not going to be the guy that's going to go out and slug a home run.
Outside, the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. Andrew Butler in a perfect hitter's count. Let's see if Jody Nutt will give the senior the green light on a 3-0.
I don't
Give
know
it to
about
him,
it.
Chase. Give
I
it to
don't know
him.
about it.
Give it to him. Andrew Butler going to hit a bomb here. I got faith. Here comes the 3-0. He does not have the green light and watches a pitch on the inside corner.
But yeah, Andrew.
Jody Nutt, the way he was looking in there, is almost giving Andrew Butler the look of saying, like, I gave you the green light.
No, Jody's not a believer in the 3-0 swing.
Listen, Joey Votto, one of the greatest hitters of all time, is hitting about 500 in his career. He'll do a slow ground ball right back to Dennison. He'll go to second and get the out at second. I guess it works the same. And that is the third out of the inning. We head to the fifth. 11-0, Grayson County leads. Cougar baseball on K105. Grayson County has the 11-0 lead as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Caverna will need at least 2 runs to extend this game to another inning. They're also looking for their first hit of the game against the Grayson County starting pitcher Landon Haycraft, the sophomore, trying to complete what would be a 5-inning no-hitter. He'll have to go against L.D. Wagoner, who he struck out in his first plate appearance. And the first pitch, Haycraft goes at the legs of Wagoner, and I give Wagoner some props there, Chase. He kind of did a little jig to get out of the way of the ball there from Landon Haycraft. The line on Haycraft, 4 innings, no hits, no runs, no earned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. The 1-0 is a swing and a miss to Wagoner.
Good land on that first pitch. Just remind him whose plate it was.
Yeah, I mean, in Wagoner, you can tell it'll rattle a player sometimes. You'll see, especially in the majors, go high and inside. He'll go outside that time. Well, Haycraft, and the count goes here to 2 balls and 1 strike. That's 60 pitches thrown for Haycraft in the game. Haycraft, the long look in. The 2-1. Low, and he's fallen behind at 3 balls and 1 strike to L.D. Wagoner. Grayson County will turn their attention tomorrow to a home game against McLean County. 6 o'clock will be the start time of that game here at Don Lee Field. As the 3-1 comes to Wagoner is a walk. Leadoff walk for Caverna, and he'll reach first base. For Caverna, they will host Edmondson County tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And they will also face Allen County, Scottsville, and Russellville to round out this week. For Grayson County later on this week, they will, after the home game tomorrow against McLean County, will travel to Davis County and Madisonville, North Hopkins. First pitch is a fly ball hit into shallow right field. Landon Sharella comes in. He was playing very shallow anyways to snag the ball for out number 1 here of this 5th inning.
I know I can't say this enough. Good luck, Caverna, tomorrow. Hope you win.
Spoken like a true Grayson Countyan. Zandon Korn to hit for Caverna now, as Landon Haycraft is 2 outs away from completing the no-hitter here in 5 innings. It's low. Good snag by Brothers, but Wagoner will advance on the play into second. He was running all the way, and a smart play there by Brothers.
Stolen base on that.
It doesn't matter.
Stolen base.
Since they covered it at second, it is by rule a second base.
It's aggressive scoring.
1-0. The pitch is a called strike. Well, that's not just aggressive scoring. That's correct scoring because Ballnock went to cover second base. It doesn't matter if the runner goes to cover second. It's no longer indifference. It is a stolen base by rule. The 1-1 is a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Plus, it's not like my scoring means anything if we're talking about stolen bases for the opponent, even stolen bases for the home team. My scoring is just for my own benefit, and really it's not like I'm ever going to go back and look at this portion of the scoring. The 1-2 just misses, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Standing in the on-deck circle for Caverna is Rafe Dennison, the second baseman, who's been very busy out in the field. Haycraft checks the runner at second, delivers the break even, and it hits Korn on the shoulder. So Korn will reach base via the hit by pitch. And it'll be Rafe Dennison, who is 0 for 1 in the game. He struck out looking in his first plate appearance. With runners on first and second, one down, Grayson leads 11-0. Cold strike at the knees by Haycraft. Haycraft's pitch count, 69 pitches right now thrown, 57% for a strike. That was up in the upper 60s earlier in the game. He's going to have to find a way to get more consistent with that, as there's a ball inside, moving the count to 1-1. It's not like our home plate umpire has had a hitter-friendly strike zone either. If anything, it's probably been more shifted towards the pitchers, and he's just not finding a way to get the ball over the plate. The 1-1 is low, and he's fallen behind here at 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, Landon, he hasn't pitched in a couple days. I think Webster County might have been the last time that he pitched. So this is good work for him, trying to get as many innings as he can.
The 2-1. Outside, and he's fallen behind in the count at 3 balls and 1 strike to the 8-hole hitter, Rafe Dennison. Buddy Hobby, the pitching coach for Grayson County, starting to pace a little bit in that dugout. Haycraft delivers the 3-1. It's low, and another walk. 3 straight reach base. Buddy Hobby, the pitching coach for Grayson, is going to call time. He's going to make his way out onto the mound, and we're going to have a full conversation out there for Hobby, talking with Landon Haycraft with 1 down here in the top of the 5th inning. It'll be the 9-hole hitter Caleb Burris to hit for the Colonels of Caverna. And Chase's conversation is clearly just hey, you're up by 11, you're 2 outs away, pitch.
Right, yeah, exactly. Just go out here, make your pitches. Not sure if he might have saw something there that he didn't like or not. Looks like it's going to be a pitching change here. Going to bring in Chase, it looks like.
We are going to have a pitching change here for Grayson County. We will not.
Yeah, I think they're going to bring in Chase Bonnock.
Chase Bonnock.
Bonnock, the shortstop's going to come in, and Landon will probably slide over to short.
Well, we'll see if that is officially going to be the move. No? Well, yep, it does appear that Chase Bonnock will be the new pitcher for Grayson County, so we'll take a break, introduce you to him. Coming up after this is Cougar Baseball on K105. Chase Bonnock is the new pitcher for Grayson County. It's his first career pitching appearance, and the first pitch is a strike. Swinging as the batter Caleb Burris attempted to bunt. It went over his head, and he just tried to pull away, and when he tried to pull away, he instead went forward. It was the right call that he swung. Bonnock delivers the second pitch, and it is low for ball number 1. Bases are loaded here in the top of the 5th inning. Grayson County leads 11-0. Haycraft has stranded, loaded, and the bunt by Burris. He fouls it, though, behind the plate.
I like this move to bring in Chase. Hasn't had any varsity experience yet in his career pitching. Bring him in. Might need him down the stretch. Bring him in a situation. See what he can do. If you're the Cougars, you really don't have much to lose in this situation.
The 1-2. Bonnock gets through. They're going to send the runner home. Play at the plate. Bonnock gets taken out at the plate, and he might have gotten cleated in the face. It appears that he is okay. Bonnock hops up, but the runner, I believe, was called out at home. Bonnock does appear that he is okay. Pops up Jody Nutt talking with him, and Chase nods his head, and I think he says he is okay, or maybe not. They're going to look. He might have gotten cleated in the face. I do believe that the runner was out. They're going to call trainer Scott Ballman out to check on Chase Bonnock behind the dish right now. Hopefully Chase is okay. Scott all bundled up. Talking with the freshman relief pitcher Bonnock. I do believe the runner was called out at home, though. We've not seen the official signal as they're checking on Chase Bonnock, and what we'll do is we'll take a step aside and take a quick break, as there's 1 or 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning. This is Cougar Baseball on K1. Welcome back. Chase Bonnock going to remain into the game. He is safe at home, so it is 11-1 now on the wild pitch. And he appears that he's okay. The 3-2 pitch is low, and that'll now reload the bases back up. So Bonnock has it. There's 1 down now in the top of the 5th inning. It is 11-1. So if Caverna scores 1 more run, the game will be extended at least 1 more inning. Dominic Grimes into hit. He's 0 for 2, and the pitch is low. 4-1 to Grimes. As Bonnock, what happened on that play is the ball went through. Bonnock came in to cover home, exactly what he's supposed to do, and the runner for Caverna, Ray, came in with a cleat first slide, and I'm not by no means, when I'm saying this, saying it was a dirty slide or anything like that. It was just one of those plays, as the pitch is low, 2 balls and no strikes. That happens, and Bonnock appeared to potentially have taken a cleat to the face. I'm assuming that that didn't necessarily happen, because if it would have, I'm assuming that we'd have had for one, I don't think he would stay in the game, as that's a line drive into left field. That'll be the first hit of the game for Caverna. It's going to go all the way to the wall. It's going to plate at least 2 runs. Here comes the 3rd run, a double for the leadoff man, Grimes. He will have it. Backside, they try to throw him out. Now Grayson County throws the ball away. Grimes is going to advance to 3rd. 3 runs cross the plate. It is 11-4. Caverna scores 4 runs in this inning on the long double by Grimes. And not good at all out there. Now we're going to have a mound visit for Grayson County. Buddy Hobby going to trot out there, and no, it looks like Chase Bonnock is going to leave the game now, and a new pitcher going to come in for Grayson County. We'll take a break, tell you who it is after this. This is Cougar Baseball on K1. Cameron Fulkerson is the new pitcher for Grayson County, the 8th grader. 6 games, an ERA of 4.677, 7 strikeouts for the Cougars. Runner Grimes is on third base. Landon Slagle, their best bat. He'll do a ground ball right back to Rogers at second. He'll throw on to first. Out there, but another runner crosses the plate, and it is now 11-5. Caverna making this game a little bit interesting here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And good piece of hitting there by Slagle. He did exactly what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can do. You got to get that run 90 feet home, especially when scores like that. Every run matters. Just start chipping away.
Weston Dennison in. A little breaking ball. Good movement there from the lefty Cameron Fulkerson, and a cold strike on the outside corner. We are now obviously out of the potential run rule situation, at least right now. Grayson County would have the opportunity to get back to it. There's a swing and a miss for Dennison against Fulkerson, and he's fallen behind in the count here at 0-2 strikes. And Fulkerson, brothers, is he okay behind the dish there? He kind of went down to both knees on after throwing that ball back to Fulkerson. What was not a good throw. Hopefully he is okay.
I think he just missed the glove, and that's Cam's way of.
The 0-2 fouled off.
You know, Cameron Fulkerson, really, he's going to be a really good player. Pitching as an 8th grader in varsity level, that says a lot right there. But he has a lot of potential. I know the coaching staff really likes him. He's a really good kid too. He's one of the favorites of mine. He's gonna be a really good player as long as he sticks with it.
Looks in for the sign from brothers, the 0-2. Inside, breaking ball, called strike 3, down on strikes. But Caverna gets 5 runs on 1 hit and 1 error. And we head to the bottom of 5. It is Grayson County 11, Caverna 5. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Bottom of the 5th inning is where we head. Weston Dennison in for another inning of work. It'll be 8-9-1 for Grayson County. Hunter Felty 1 for 1 in the game. He singled and he was hit by a pitch in the game. 11-5. Grayson County has the lead against Caverna. Sam Gormley and Chase Blaine with you. And the first pitch here, bottom of the 5, is a breaking ball outside that misses. Grayson looked like they were going to be in the opportunity to have the 11-0 mercy rule victory, but the Colonels of Caverna came away with a big hit to make it 11-5. Pitch misses low, and falling behind in the count is Dennison. 2 balls and no strikes. It's a good bit of small ball played by Caverna, making sure they opened up the strike zone. Cougars weren't throwing strikes, and Caverna pretty much said, well, okay, so there's a called strike at the knees to Felty. Pretty much said, okay, if you're not going to throw strikes, then we're just going to let it go by. And that's exactly what they did. Walks, and then they had the big double off the wall in left field. The 2-1. Ground ball by Felty up the middle. Diving attempt by Grimes. He's not going to get there. And a leadoff hit by Hunter Felty. He's 2 for 2 on his senior night.
Felty, it's so great that he came back to play baseball this year. Really good kid and joy to be around. Really come into his own. Been a solid player for us this year.
Cameron Fulkerson will now come in to hit. He's 1 for 6 on the season with a run batted in. Not had a lot of plate appearances, but he came in on the mound in relief of Chase Bonnock. And pickoff move in there safe is Hunter Felty. As we mentioned, the Cougars will turn their attention later on this week, starting tomorrow against McLean County. Inside pitch, almost hits Fulkerson, and advancing on the play is Hunter Felty into scoring position. 1 ball and no strikes will be the count here in the bottom of the 5th.
You know, Cam, he got his first career hit at Edmonson County. Be a good time for career hit number 2 right here if a guy on second.
Dennison looks in for the sign, delivers. Fulkerson watches the pitch outside, and he's ahead in the count at no balls and 2 strikes. The sun has finally began to set at Don Lee Field. The temperature with that is dropping as we're looking to get down in the 50s. But really the wind, which was a major factor early in this game, has died down drastically. Outside and falling behind at 3-0 is Weston Dennison to Cameron Fulkerson. As Chase, early on, the wind was really blowing to the point where we almost couldn't see the players because the dirt was blowing so much.
Yeah, it was a really gusty day.
3 balls, no strikes to Cameron Fulkerson. Felty stands on second, 11-5. Grayson leads. Pitch outside. Fulkerson works a walk, and there's runners on first and second now with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. Landon Haycraft, the leadoff hitter, comes in to hit. He is 1 for 3 in the game. Last time, he hit into what I like to classify as the bad luck double play. It was a hit and run, and he popped it out to the second baseman. And we have a timeout called, and looks like we're going to have a pitching change for Caverna. So we'll take a break, tell you who the new pitcher for the Colonels is after this. This is Cougar Baseball on K1. Welcome back here to Grayson County High School. The new pitcher is Landon Slagle out on the mound for Caverna. Sanderson has moved to center. Ray is the new first baseman, and Dennison is behind the dish now for the Colonels. For Slagle on the season, he is 8 games, 5 starts, 10.2 innings. The pitch bounces away from the catcher, Dennison. Both runners will advance for Grayson. And Slagle has thrown 10 2/3 innings, has struck out 11. So the wild pitch advances the runner on the first one thrown by Slagle. As it's tough to go from pitcher to catcher when you threw 75 pitches. That's a tough move. And it was interesting because he was getting, his catching equipment on in between, and the pitcher couldn't start warming up yet because he didn't have a catcher. Pitch goes low, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes.
And that's been the thing, we've had to do that a couple times with Camden and Landon going back and forth like that. That's a really hard thing to do. Doesn't give you much of a break with your arm to recover.
2 balls, no strikes to Landon Haycraft. Slagle delivers the inside pitch, and it is 3-0 to Landon Haycraft. So you got Landon Slagle against Landon Haycraft. The battle of Landons. Which one will, only if Landon Shirella, we could do like a 3 at the same time to see which Landon survives. The 3-0. Right down Broadway for a called strike, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Grayson County leads 11-5 in the game. They led 11-0. Caverna, though, scored 5 in the top half of this inning to extend our game. Looked like we might have been getting out of here a little early, Chase, but it doesn't appear so right now. Not if Caverna has something to say about it. But the bases are loaded now after the low walk. It'll be back to Jaron Van Meter. Van Meter has walked, been hit by a pitch, and grounded out to the pitcher.
Hope you didn't have plans after the game like a date or anything, because I don't think you're going to make it.
No, it's going to be a little bit of a late night. It's 11-5 here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Grayson County trying to close it out. Now, if the Cougars do score 4 runs, it would be the mercy rule in this inning. Pitch high to Jaron Van Meter.
Winning runs at the plate. All Jaron has to do is come around and score.
Maybe a walk-off we can put in quotation marks grand slam here from Jaron Van Meter. He hit a home run against Caverna earlier this season when the game was played down in Horse Cave.
He can do it.
Watch that pitch outside for ball 2.
I don't know if the right field here is as friendly as the right field at Caverna was, but he can do it.
For being one of the smaller guys on the team, I would not put it past him at all.
He's a strong dude for sure.
The 2-0. Swing and a miss. I know his dad, Jeremy, would probably say that he's the one that taught him everything he needs to know when it comes to the strength. I know Jeremy's probably locked in and watching with us right now, or at least we'll be going back and seeing that. Here comes the 2-1. Fouls it off left side, out of play. And that was, we had a hit on the truck over there. That was where the little pickup baseball / football / WWE UFC showdown was happening earlier, but they have broken that up, and because of that, they don't get the foul ball. Here comes the break even from Slagle to Van Meter. And Van Meter gets hit for the second time in the game. That'll hit in a run. Grayson County now leads 12-5.
It's a way to get an RBI.
They all count the same.
That's right.
They all count the same. It's one way to earn it.
I hope that kid brings back the foul ball. That's probably like a $20 baseball out there.
Looks like
those things are outrageous.
Looks like he's either running to hand it to our camera operator, Trey Cook, or he's going to give it to the Caverna dugout. Camden Brothers comes in to hit. He's 0 for 1 in the game. He's hit a sacrifice fly, popped out to second, and been hit by a pitch. And pitch goes low. First one there to Brothers. Brothers is the commit to play baseball at Brescia College. Did that about a week and a half ago. We had the story at K105.com if you want to go and read a little bit more about that. We talked to Camden. Just go to the local sports section of K105 and you'll be able to find that article for some more information. I know he said that one of the main reasons that he wanted to go to Brescia was he didn't want big city feel. He liked the small campus. And he just knew it was the right fit. And one of the things that he also made sure to mention without even bringing it up, as it goes outside 3-0, is that he liked that the coach was real with him and said, hey, if you come and you play here 1 year, then that 1 year I'm going to make you be the best. But if you come here and play 4 years, then I'm still going to make you the best player. And I respect that from the coach, knowing that, at some of the small baseball schools, sometimes kids don't stick it out for all 4 years. The 3-0 is outside, 4-pitch walk to Brothers. And it's 13-5, Grayson County. The winning run now stands at second base. Landon Sharella will try to send the fans at Donley Field home happy. He's 2 for 3. He's singled and tripled. A double and a homer away from the cycle.
Camden, he knows he has high aspirations, but that's great. He knows that.
Pitch inside. Good stop by the catcher, Dennison, in front of the plate.
Cam knows he's not going to go out and be a D1 athlete straight out of high school, and there's nothing wrong with taking that small step to a smaller college like Brescia and going on and working your way up through the college ranks.
And if you're good enough, they'll find you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They'll find you whether you're playing high school, college, wherever.
1 ball, no strikes to Sharella. High and outside for ball 2. Grayson County will host McLean County here tomorrow at Donley Field. We'll be back with them one more time in the regular season. A week from tomorrow as the Cougs will take on Butler County here at Donley Field. Sharella swings over top of that one. It does get away from the catcher. Diving slide in, safe! What a slide by Landon Haycraft out of the reach of the catcher, Dennison. I mean, 10 out of 10 on the slide by Haycraft.
Yeah, he knows. He knows how to do it. Move. He is speedy. He can run the bases really well, and that just showed it right there.
Brothers advances to second. And now the winning run of this game is 90 feet away off the legs of Jaron Van Meter. It's 14-5, Grayson County leads. Can the Cougs send the fans home happy here in 5?
Landon hits one. We might need camera up here in the press box. Jason Sharella might lose it.
Here comes the 2-1. Outside, and a count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. Eli Watson stands in the on-deck circle as he is one of the seniors on the team. Could potentially, if it's not Landon Sharella, it could be the senior on his senior night to send him home happy. Slagle looks in for the sign. Delivers the pitch. It hits Sharella, and the bases are loaded for Eli Watson.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for Eli. One of the senior leaders on the team.
He is doubled twice and singled in the game. 3 for 3 for Eli Watson in the contest. Watson already in the game, 4 RBIs. 3 for 3 with 4 RBIs in a game. He's going to try and make it 5 and send the fans home happy. Now, if there's one guy that 100% does have the power to get it out of here, it would be young Mr. Watson.
Eli, he can do it.
But right now, all he needs to do is hit the ball and play. As the infield comes in for Caverna.
He's done it twice here this year.
Pitch is a ground ball foul into the Caverna dugout. Caverna will host Edmonson County tomorrow, and as their season gets close to coming to an end, is not sure where their district tournament is held at this year. They're in the district with Hart County and LaRue County, and I think Greene County is the 4th team in that district. It's a good baseball district. The 0-1 to Watson is a ground ball to third. He'll tag third. That will do it. Cougars win 15-5 on the fielder's choice. And Grayson County picks up win number 9 on the season with a 15-5 victory in 5 innings. We'll come back, wrap it up after this. Again, your final score, Grayson County 15 and Caverna 5. It's Cougar Baseball on K105. Grayson County is a winner tonight by a final score of 15-5 against the Caverna Colonels here, as we're going to run down the stats from this game. Eli Watson comes away with 5 RBIs. As actually, we were talking about it on whether the fielder's choice does count as an RBI, but my stats machine says it does. From Eli Watson, and if the stats machine says it, Chase, then that's the correct answer. So Eli Watson comes away with 5 RBIs to lead the way to a Grayson County 15-5 victory here today at Grayson County High School. As the stats from the game, the winning pitcher for the Cougars is Landon Haycraft. And if my computer would decide to work, we'll bring you those final stats from him. As it's loading, I thought Landon threw the ball pretty well today, Chase, as he goes 4 1/3 innings, as he allows no hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 7 strikeouts, 4 walks. Chase Ballnock came in relief. He faced, it was 2 batters to Chase. He allowed a hit, 2 runs, 1 earned, and a walk. Cameron Fulkerson came in to shut the door with 2/3 of an inning on 5 pitches, 1 strikeout. The loss is settled to Weston Dennison. He goes 4 innings, 10 hits, 13 runs, 12 earned, 2 walks. Landon Slagle, 1/3 of an inning, 2 runs, 2 earned, and 2 walks. The line score for Grayson County, 5 RBIs for Eli Watson, 2 each for Rogers, Sharella, and Brothers, 1 each for Van Meter and Ballnock. RBIs-wise, it's 3 for Dominic Grimes for Caverna, 1 for Landon Slagle. The final line score for Caverna, 5 runs on 1 hit and 3 errors. For Grayson County, 15 runs on 10 hits and 1 error. I think today, Chase, this is a game that the Cougars needed to win. No other way to put it. I think Jody Nutt, probably his conversation is, well, you won, and that's what matters, but it still, I think, shows that you got some stuff to work on before the biggest game of the season 2 weeks from tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. The Cougars, they've really, starting out the season, started off really slow, really flat, about halfway through, hit a curve, really started playing better, and you saw that here tonight. This Caverna team, it's a lot better Caverna team than what it was whenever we played them start of the season. We fought. On the flip side of that, you really have to finish games. There's been a couple games like that where you've given up a couple unnecessary runs there at the end. Edmonson County, Whitesville, just a couple. Just to make things interesting. You can't do that. You have to learn how to finish games. Your pitching comes in, as Coach Hobby would always say, it always starts with pitching. That's his message after every game, and it showed right there. Landon did a great job offensively good. Overall, a solid team win for the Cougars.
I think the biggest thing with that, too, is that if they don't start closing games, our scoreboard operator, Jason Chirella, I'm not sure he's going to be able to handle it much more. I know it stresses him out when the runs don't come, but but also it's not. I mean, we can joke about that, but as a head coach, it's stressful. As a pitcher, it's stressful, and as a team, it's stressful. And Chase, the last thing you want to do is if you are in a game where let's just say on 2 weeks from tonight, we're here at Donley Field, probably about this time. Grayson County's playing any insert team. And it is 6-5 in the top of the 7th inning. Cougars trying to shut the door, and there's runners on 2nd and 3rd. They're probably going to be thinking, uh-oh, here we go again. And that is the last thing you need to be thinking.
That's the situation that happened whenever we played Edmonson County. The bases were loaded. I think the winning run was on 2nd, and we just got a lucky double play where they ran into a couple outs, 3 outs, and I mean, that's the exact situation that happens, and you need to learn to put a cap on that, to not allow that to happen. And I know Coach Nutt, he thinks about that a lot. I don't know how he sleeps, to be honest, after some of these games, but that's something that you really have to work on as a team, and you need to keep your foot on the throttle and keep the momentum up and not let up here late in the game.
Because this is one of these things where this is a game where you're going to learn a lot from, but you're also done with it. You got to move on because you got McLean County, you got Davis County, 2 region teams coming this week. These are teams and opponents that you need to beat before the 2 big games coming up on Monday and Tuesday. That'll pretty much wrap up our coverage here tonight. We'll be back next week. It's going to be a busy week for the K105 Digital Productions crew. On Monday, we'll have Lady Cougar softball against Ohio County. On Tuesday, we'll have Cougar baseball against Butler County. And then on Friday of next week, we'll have Lady Cougar softball against Bowling Green. Those will be the games coming up next week. That'll wrap up our coverage tonight. Chase, I appreciate it as always.
No problem. It's been a pleasure. I always look forward to it.
Well, sounds good. So until next time on a night where Grayson County picks up the 15-5 victory for the K105 Digital Productions crew and Chase Blaine, this is Sam Gormley saying so long, everyone.